Hey guys, Genevieve here to talk about our upcoming full moon in the sign of Libra. This is going to be Saturday evening around right before 8:30 Eastern time, all right? And my oil blend that I make for this occasion, of course, is called Cardinal. We've discussed this before, but it's because Libra and Aries are cardinal signs, and that just means they are ushering in the new season, and in this case, ushering in the new astrological year. Um, so, of course, that's always available. That's available at Stone and Sage. That's available at Maker's Market. That's available through my website, or if you contact me directly. And I've mentioned this before, so before I get into the new moon or the full moon reading of the chart, it's one of two blends that I use dragon's blood resin in. So it has a little bit of the grain of the resin in there. I try to crush it and, really dilute it as much as possible, but you will, if you purchase this blend, see some red it almost looks like pebbles or flakes in there. And the oil does have a reddish tinge to it. Okay. So let's get into this. All right. So, full moon in Libra. Let me set my phone down so I can really use both my hands because I love to use my hands to talk. All right. So, even though this is a full moon in Libra, and Libra is an air sign, Aries, of course, fire sign, right? This chart is actually mostly water, or the aspects, and you're going to see why, because most of our planets and aspects are with Pisces. This is kind of almost like Pisces season really just isn't letting go. So most of our aspects are with Pisces and other water signs. We do have 4 aspects with fire, 6 with air, and 4 with earth. So we will talk very quickly. No surgery on Saturday during this moon course. So Saturday, Sunday, Friday, the parts of the body, the organs that are associated with this full moon are your kidneys, bladder, your skin, kind of all of the systems in your body that that get rid of waste, okay, toxins, your pancreas, also insulin and glucose, your body's natural regulatory system of those things. So be on guard. Take caution, protects your organs, your kidneys, your bladder, skin. Certainly if you have issues with insulin and blood sugar, stay on top of that. Okay. So now the biggest thing, and we will circle around to this. You all probably have heard, and if you haven't, good news, Mercury went direct just a couple of days ago. So in that day or so prior to and during that direct phase, things might have been a little bit still just like, what's going on? But now it's full on direct. You should have noticed communication is a little bit more clear. Everything, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. Mercury is moving forward. Guess what? Good news. Just following this, during the full moon, Venus, which has also been in retrograde, is stationary. What is stationary? That means it's just kind of sitting there for a little minute, pausing before she's about ready to move forward as well. So she'll no longer be in retrograde. Actually, that is one of the biggest aspects of this full moon chart, okay? So what does that mean? Well, we'll get into that when we talk about Venus a little bit more. But right now, of course, we all know with the sun in Aries, what is that? Fire energy. That's go, 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 go. We tried, right? We tried. Mercury was kind of preventing us from that. Mother Nature was kind of preventing us from that. We started to get the warm weather, and then all of a sudden, it was like winter again. It's like, come on again, Pisces season, let go. But now, with this forward motion, we're really going to start to feel the spring energy, that action energy, that let's go get them, right? So, and of course, when we have a full moon, the sun and the moon are always opposite each other. They are in opposition, but they work together when they're in opposition of each other. Of course, full moons are always pretty draining because of that tug of war energy between the sun and the moon. But that doesn't mean that they can't be a positive thing. A lot of people have negative connotations with full moons. It's usually because we're all a little bit more emotional around that time because of that tug of war. In this case, because most of our planets and the aspects are in water signs, there's a little bit more emotion behind this, all right? But Libra, being the planet of love, beauty, balance, is really going to try to help us stay on an even keel and just push through those and get moving, right? So, we have strength and hard work is really going to be highlighted with this full moon. We do want to guard against unnecessary risks at this time, being too impulsive and selfish, okay? But with the sun trining Jupiter, this is going to add to confidence, optimism, also aid in travel and adventure. It's going to give us all a little bit of that spirit and kind of like, yes, spring is here. Time. Let's get moving. It's time to go. All right. So our moon again in Libra, which is bringing us balance, harmony, and beauty. We're taking in beauty of nature, especially at this time. Also, what's right around the corner? Earth Day. Okay, so we can use a little bit of that grounding during a full moon. Get out there. If it's nice outside, get out there, breathe the air, get your feet in the dirt, get to planning. Get to planning your planting, whatever it is you're going to do to honor the earth during this beautiful season. We do have a trine with Jupiter. Again, I believe I just mentioned that. Yes, we're getting right into the moon. Moon in Libra is going to square Mars right now, which is a little bit difficult because, Mars is the ruler of Aries and Mars is the action planet. This is going to bring us, again, I mentioned some emotional tension, make us a little bit indecisive, but it's also going to bring out some bossy energy, bring out some arguments, especially on the home front, but is also going to lend to that sense of adventure and nonconformity, right? We just want to do things our own way under this full moon. So Mercury, mentioned before, now gone direct, is actually the biggest player in this chart, okay? So Mercury's in Pisces. This is highlighting that art, that mysticism, psychic abilities. We speak with emotion under this transit. It can lead to some mental exhaustion. Again, that tiredness that always comes with a full moon. Now, it is conjunct Venus, which is going to help us with some of that emotions by balancing our thoughts and our words, help us be a little bit more rational, but very convincing in our speech and our conversation with others, okay? We have a trine with Mars. Mars is in Cancer still. So this is going to cause us to act and think fast, but we're going to be practical about it. We're going to be analytical about it. We're going to do our research before we leap, okay? We have a conjunction with Saturn. This is going to give us a little bit more sharper eye for detail. It's going to help us be a little bit more serious and conservative mentally. It's going to help, kind of make us pull back a little bit from our imagination and our fantasy world a little bit and get us a little bit more, okay, but yeah, let's get real. We have a sextile with Uranus, which is going to lead to that, quirky Uranus energy of discovering and inventing new things, falling in love with new technology, getting excited about it. We're going to be a little bit more curious and creative under this energy, outside of the box thinking, but also liking to debate, argue for the sake of not to be right or to, to hurt anyone, but to really just debate facts, to be self-expressive and get your side of the perspective of the situation out, okay? So we're going to be debating in a much more rational and respectable manner, okay? We also have a conjunction with Neptune, Mercury and Neptune. So again, Neptune is in Aries. Neptune is in Aries. We talked about that before. It's kind of a strange place for it to be, but it's pretty cool so far, right? This is going to give us all excellent heightened intuition, okay? A broad worldview. We're taking in other perspectives and other opinions from people that are not like us, which is very important. We're getting to that, okay? Definitely, we want to focus on how you communicate though, and let it not be filled with fantasy and fluff and flowers. Although, Venus definitely wants us to do that. We want to focus on grounding. Talked about that. Get into the earth as much as you can. Seriously, emotionally, physically ground yourself. We want to kind of stay away from escaping into fantasy and focus on practical matters. So, Mercury, like I said, the biggest player in this chart. This is what we really need to pay attention to. All the aspects with Mercury are water aspects. This is where the communication style is going to be a little bit more intuitive and emotional, but not in your face rude. Okay. Just more like trying to find the balance, the harmony, the sensitivity. And of course that moon, Libra moon, really wants that as well. So again, the biggest shift is Venus going stationary to direct. And Mercury forward. So this is all should feel really good, guys. Next up, so Mercury again still in Pisces, but not for long. Stationary to direct. She is conjunct with Mercury. We just said that. She's trining Mars. So this is going to help us to really start to be kind again, okay? This is going to be a great time to be surrounded by lots of friends and be upbeat and happy and feel the support and the love, right? The free time is important though under this. Free time isn't free. In other words, it needs to feel meaningful. It needs to feel like it's not being wasted on trivialities. It needs to say like my free time is my whatever, creative time, my spiritual time, my connection with my friend time, but it needs to be productive. It can't be we're just sitting around playing video games and not really talking to each other kind of stuff, right? There needs to be an outcome that is positive use of the free time. So also we have a square with Jupiter. So this is going to lend a little bit to that more emotionally demanding, kind of difficult guard against this. Because if this is you, or depending where your placements in your own personal chart are, contact me for your chart. It could be difficulty maintaining friendships, or it's challenging because this energy is like interests are always changing, therefore your friend group and circle changes as your interests change, or constantly traveling, or your religious perspective has changed, and so that core group that used to be, share those belief systems with you is changing as your belief systems change. Also, under this energy, watch your spending. Watch your spending. We all should know, we've been paying attention to what's going on with our economy, with the stock market, with tariffs and this, that, and the other. And so we're all should really be cautious at this time with money. Save what you can, spend less. Okay? Reuse, recycle, reduce. That is the season, right? We have a conjunction with Saturn with this as well. So this is this does again lead to stability in relationships, but it's out of convention, not of any real true feelings. Not that there's instability, there's nothing wrong with stability. Just be aware if that is you, if you're staying stuck in whatever type of relationship you're in because it's safe or it's what's expected. Okay, like really think about that. It's up to you if you want to change it. If you acknowledge it, but just like are fine with that, okay, cool. Then keep on going that path. We have our sextile with Uranus, which, needs our friendships, needs that friend group to be constantly evolving, needs friends to make more effort than we are. Like if you've been feeling as though you're the one that's trying to keep in contact with your friends, with your family members, with everybody, and the effort has not been reciprocal, this is the energy that's saying, no, I'm done with that. Like I need my friends to reach out to me more. I need the people to care, that say that they care about me, actually prove it. It does lead to a very emotionally independent nature. And again, under this is Venus, though. This is, a glow up for us ladies. So it's easy to start relationships under this energy. They might not last long though. This is our glow up, ladies. This is Venus stepping out. She's like, I'm tired of going backwards and retracing old steps and reliving old patterns, and I am ready to glow up, step out, move forward, and I'm going to have fun. And I am going to, if you are not in alignment with me now, I will find the people, the energy that is. All right. We also have a conjunction with Neptune. So this is going to lead again to sensitivity and romance, but caution again, stop putting your partner on a pedestal. Nobody can live up to that, and they might feel like it's just too hard to be the perfect, example and embodiments of your ideal partner. So like, really don't put others on a pedestal higher than you. We're all equal under the eyes of our Creator. Okay. This does lead to being faithful and devoted in a relationship, though. So now we are going to move on to Mars. Mars is trine Saturn. So this is going to lead, again, tireless work ethic, definitely entrepreneurial spirit, organization. But again, taking risks at this time is cautioned against. We still have that sextile with Uranus and two sides of the coin where we can be constructive with this energy, or we can go into extremism. And, we really need to caution and choose wisely. Like, most people are getting out of the extremist thinking. I'm thinking that most people are getting out of the extremist thinking, and this energy is going to help with that. This energy is also great. This aspect is great, again, for quick and fast performances, bursts. So it's especially really good for entertainers and athletes, people that use their body and that need to be fast, precise, get the job done, right? So good on you. Now, we have a trine with Neptune, Mars and Neptune right now. Again, this is going to lead to some impracticality. Knowing trivial facts and culture and every little nuance to every kind of trivial factor in the world, but it doesn't translate to practical life. So guard against that. Definitely try to pull yourself out of the fantasy world again and attend to practical matters. We have a conjunction with Pluto. This is going to lend to this stubborn, determined nature. This is kind of where everybody needs to stiffen up their backbone, get a little bit tougher, because under this transit energy, there is the potential there to hurt people's feelings with a sharp, critical, fast judgment and being too stubborn to change your opinion. Okay. Now, we talked about this before, and this is still part of it. Saturn and Uranus. We have practical, originality and inventive, positive development of abilities, or Neptune, which is going to make us a little bit more trapped in our fantasy and not getting practical. So depending on your chart, where Saturn or Neptune is, determines which side is going to win on that. Okay. Again, we've talked about this before because these outer planets stay where they're at for a really long time. So this Neptune trine Pluto energy is still going on with long-lasting peace-making attitudes globally. Okay? So, again, this chart is still heavily weighted. This is the overall energy of it. Heavily weighted in Pisces and Aries. So the ending and the beginning, the alpha and the omega, okay? First house and the 12th house. It's almost like I said, Pisces energy just needs to let go a little bit. Just let go a little bit so we can all get on. We can all get on with the start of the good stuff, right? And again, Cardinal means changeable. Cardinal is not changeable. Cardinal is the usher of the season, the usher of the energy. That's why we all feel a speeding up of things. So be sure you get your hands on my Cardinal blend. Of course, I'm going to share both charts like I always do in the comments under the video. Contact me with any questions. You certainly are going to be able to see what I'm looking at, though. Like that, it's mostly good. The blue lines are positive aspects. Red lines are difficult and challenging aspects. But the reason why I do these videos and the reason why I share this information with you is because I want you all to be prepared and make the best of the energy and to know what to guard against. All right, guys. Enjoy it. Like I said, it should be beautiful. Till next time, bless be, namaste, and all that good stuff. Peace.